Welcome to the World News, your daily dose of stories around the globe. I'm Randolf Jamias, here in Naypyidaw. An exploding news starts our stories. A car bomb has blasted and killed 4 people on site, and many others were wounded in Helmand province, Afghanistan. More of the details in our report.
At least 4 Afghan intelligence officers are killed in a car bomb explosion in Helmand province Monday. Many more have been wounded. A government spokesman said explosives were placed inside a vehicle parked near the offices of the National Directorate of Security.
I was sitting near the roadside with my father and my brother when the blast happened. I didn't know what happened. After a few minutes, I started crying and asked my father where my brother was. My father calmed me down and said he had been carried to the hospital.
Nobody claimed immediate responsibility for the attack. Despite the presence of thousands of Afghan and foreign troops fighting the Taliban insurgency, violence is at its worst since the war was launched in late 2001.
Meanwhile, more serious talks are going on to protect the Mother Earth on higher level as delegates from more than 170 nations gathered in Hyderabad, India, to talk biodiversity. Topics dwell on the use of Earth's animals and plants in a sustainable manner. Let's take a peek at the session.
The United Nations holds the conference every 2 years. Delegates at the 2010 talks in Nagoya agreed on rules for sharing economic benefits from genetic resources. The Nagoya Protocol included measures to safeguard biodiversity. The delegates set a target of conserving at least 17% of land and 10% of coastal and marine areas by 2020. But many passed laws enforcing the protocol. Some developers can't afford to implement the policies.
Not only do we need to protect biodiversity, but a balance of modern and tradition should be maintained as well in ancient villages. In the Nepalese hamlet of Siman, just valleys away in Dotarap village, business is booming and satellite dishes that beam in American wrestling are set up beside prayer flags as the high Himalayan landscape of Upper Dolpa opens up to the outside world. The contrast between the settlements points to the future for one of the highest inhabited regions on Earth, and local children like Tema Lama are likely to lead lives full of bewildering new experiences. Upper Dolpa, a hidden land of deep canyons and swollen rivers, is virtually sealed off from the rest of Nepal. This region is marked by high peaks abutting the Tibetan plateau, with trails curving along high cliffs for farmers and nomadic herders who take their shaggy black yak south for winter grazing. Most locals speak a Tibetan dialect called Dolpo, and the literacy rate is about 20%. Turning now to tickle our palates. Potatoes are nothing new in Poland, but for a new type of fast food quickly making its mark in the Polish capital Warsaw, Polish potatoes just won't do. A craze of quintessentially Belgian fricot shops offering traditional Belgian fries has taken Warsaw by storm. A new snack has now conquered taste buds of the Polish capital, Belgian fries, a near cousin of the more widely known French fry. Although Poland ranks among Europe's top potato growers, these fries are cooked up from an imported Belgian variety of spud known as binch. They're hand-cut into thicker than usual fries and deep-fried twice for crispness and flavor. If this project goes ahead, 14 new fricots would start serving fries in the country each year. Polish businessmen are also eagerly looking to the popularity of this tasty Belgian specialty. A different extravagance is making a trend in the Southeast Indonesia. The country's richest are signing up for a new luxury club these days. At least some of the privileged are now flaunting their wealth with luxury graves in a memorial park modeled on a U.S. country club. Let's head to Jakarta for this report.
How much does it cost to rest in peace? Well, that depends on the view. The hilltop 180-degree view, top-of-the-line one, can cost up to $2 million a plot. That's right, your final resting place can cost as much as a brand new sports car. And contrary to what you may think, people are actually lining up to pay.
We provide first-class services, like in a hotel, you know. Secondly, the facility. And third of all, the view and everything we provide here.
The San Diego Hills Memorial Park, built in a 500 hectares of property, this is not your average cemetery. The memorial ground is equipped with its own swimming pool, a top-notch Italian restaurant, a jogging track, and a multifunction room, mostly used for memorial services and weddings. That's right, weddings. The centerpiece of the grounds, though, is this, the articulately designed final resting place. It is divided into 3 sections, each to accommodate different religions and cultures in Indonesia. A recreation of the Garden of Eden for the Christians, a Garden of Prosperity and Joy for the Chinese descendants, and the 5 Pillars Garden for the Muslims.
In Indonesia, we have these 3 major religions, so we have to provide this market, you know, to grab the market.
The idea paid off. The memorial ground has become a symbol of status, and they have to continually build new plots to keep up with the demand. And with the high demand, a secondary market has opened up, selling and buying pre-bought plot at a handsome profit. Almost 30,000 plots have been sold to date, and with a potential capacity of around 5 million bodies, this is only the start.
And talking about resting in peace, how about a world record for raising the dead and creating an atmosphere of horror? We usually enjoy this in the movies, but Sussex, England is trying to grab the attention and enjoying the thrill at the same time. Let's watch how much effort they put into it.
England was dying to break the world record for the largest zombie gathering, so corpses from around the country gathered in Sussex, applying a full face of white makeup, dark eyes, and some form of red paint in order to qualify. And sci-fi fans like Chris and Lois Horley rose from the dead for the occasion.
It's a passion. We love films about zombies. It's an opportunity to get outside of a normal everyday life.
I've seen every zombie film ever made, and it's inspired by all of them. So it wasn't hard. It's when I read it in the paper and heard that they were doing it, I thought it's made for me.
As dusk descended, officials determined that an admirable 1,500 zombies met the criteria. But Guinness World Records said the UK zombies failed to take over the US record, where more than 4,000 ghouls gathered for the New Jersey Zombie Walk in 2010.
Some kind of fun. And in sports, Mexico completed a 1-2 finish for the second time on this year's ITU Triathlon World Cup circuit when local boys Sergio Sarmiento and Crisanto Grajales sprinted away to dominate the podium in Cancun. Sarmiento's win was significant for the host as the country had never celebrated a home winner in the 9 previous World Cup events in Mexico. Just like the women, the men's race saw 2 athletes set the early pace with German Stefan Justus and Tommy Zaferes of the United States surging ahead of the field on the swim. However, it did not take long for the chase pack of 35 men to close in on Zaferes and Justus early on the second bike lap. While Zaferes was not one of the leading Americans on the bike, he managed to move up during the stage and came out of the transition to the run leg in first place. But he struggled to keep a steady pace and was eventually run down by Grajales, Sarmiento, and another American, Jared Shoemaker. Shoemaker was soon dropped as the heat and humidity proved too much for him, leaving the door open for Frenchman Gregory Rault to climb into a podium position.
It's perfect for me. Run behind Crisanto is like to get a certain place in the podium nearly. You know, it's a very good runner, so if he's there, I'm maybe there.
Thanks for the company. We'll be right back for more. Please stay with us.